Hi everyone, in today's presentation I'm going to show you how you can use Tableau to analyze and leverage your Amazon Seller Central data. So I'm going to be using two different data sets, first of which is sales data per ASIN. If you're not sure where to get this from, you go into reports, business reports, detail page sales and traffic by child item, and you download the Excel spreadsheet. The second data set is Amazon sponsored products data. So you go advertising, campaign manager, I chose to click on campaign performance report and I downloaded that as well. So I have already imported my two Excel spreadsheets into Tableau, but just to show you very quickly, I clicked on that and found them in my documents. If you're someone that manages your Amazon seller account via a third-party integrator, maybe something like Magento, you can actually connect direct to that via an ODBC driver, and indeed you can connect to other data sets, for example, data coming straight out of Google Analytics. But as I said, I've already done mine, so I've imported my two spreadsheets, and I'm going to be asking questions on the go. So my first question is, in terms of this most recent sponsored products campaign, how many total clicks were generated in that campaign? So double click on clicks and Tableau automatically aggregates the data, and I see that 465 clicks were achieved on the campaign. Great. Now, how does that look in terms of the different ASINs I was advertising? So double click on ASIN. This is the linking dimension that sits in both the business report and the sponsored products data. So as you can see, that's why there's the link button there. Okay, good. I'm not actually familiar with my async codes. Don't think many Amazon sellers are. So if I drag skew to label, I see that, yeah, I now understand which each of these products are. As you can see, I don't have a very large inventory, so I just called my products by the different colors that they are. Blue, the blue skew was clicked on the most, 102 times. Okay, but what about the actual sales that were generated off the back of that campaign? So if I drag 1 week ordered product sales to the color mark, then I get that information as well. So I see straight away that it was the light grey product that generated the most sales. £37.99 was generated off the back of 76 clicks. And just to compare, well, only £2.99's worth of product sales were generated on blue, which had 102 clicks. So clearly, light grey got a much better conversion rate. And going forward, now I have this insight, I might want to drop these other SKUs and just concentrate on advertising light grey because for whatever reason, it seems to have a much better conversion rate in terms of actual sales that come off the back of the advertisement. Okay, so I'm not going to do any more here. I'm just going to call this clicks by ASIN and SKU. Okay. Moving on, I'm now going to be looking at, well, I'll look at clicks data again, so start with clicks, but now I want to see how that breaks down in terms of keywords. So if I double click on keyword, and not sure what this is, so I'll just exclude that. Don't know how that got in there. As you can see, I only bid on two keywords, so it's going to be pretty basic kind of visualization. But nonetheless, it will be useful to demonstrate to you the point of what I'm trying to communicate. So let's go for a tree map. Let's change this tree map to text, and we've got a word cloud. So as I've already said, I only bid on two keywords, but imagine many of you bid on many more. So you could imagine the effect of having loads of keywords in here. And as you can see, both in terms of color and size of the text, both of those are indicating that laces was clicked on far more than the keyword rope laces. Okay, but how does that actually break down in terms of the product sales? So again, well, yeah, well, let's go for 1 week ordered product sales. Let's bring that to color. Not a change in terms of the different colors that we're seeing. If I wanted to kind of make that a bit more evident, then I can change the color scheme to red, green, diverging. Okay, but essentially now I have extra information. So there were 435 clicks on laces, and it generated a total of £84.90 of sales, whereas with rope laces it was 24 clicks and £10 worth of sales. So actually, you know what? In terms of the amount of clicks per order. That's not so bad. But anyway, I have that extra bit of information now. I'll call this clicks by keyword, and I'll move on to a third worksheet. So now I want to see sales data. So go to the business report, and I want to see total amount of revenue. So gross product sales. So my very modest Amazon business has generated year to date £2,906 worth of revenue. So how does that break down in terms of the, well, let's do it month by month. So month data, order month. There we go. Okay, interesting. June by far was the biggest month for me. Let's sort this descending. Yeah, June was the biggest, followed by January and October. Let's actually get some percentage terms in there. So if I duplicate sales to the label and then change this to a quick table calculation, percent of total, then now I get that actually in June, 39.65% of my sales were generated, which was a total of £1,152. That's interesting, and I already know the answer why that is. What I'm not so familiar with is why January was my second best month. Like what was going on in January, I'm not really sure. Same for October. This one I do know why, and it'll become clear in a second. But okay, is there anything else I can add on to here? Let's do maybe units ordered as well as actual revenue. So units ordered to color. Okay, that makes sense, yeah. But again, an extra data point, sorry. So 113 units ordered in June versus 40 units ordered in January. Okay, so let's call this sales by month. And let's move on to a fourth and final worksheet. So now, what are we going to look at? Unit orders by ASIN, maybe? Yeah, let's do that. Let's go for units ordered. So a total of 334 units ordered year to date. And breaking this down by child ASIN. Let's sort descending again. Let's change the axes. And again, not familiar with my ASIN, so let's drag title to the tooltip. And if I hover over my top selling ASIN, I see that that was a Peppa Pig George backpack. Of course it was. Okay, good. That's useful. Maybe we'll bring something like gross product sales to color again. So, yeah. Okay, so ASIN sales by month. Okay, cool. Right, so I'm done here. I've made 4 worksheets in about 5 minutes, and now it's time to bring these into a dashboard. So dashboard, new dashboard, and I'll just double click on each of these, bring them into the view. Now that I have them sitting all side by side, sorry, I'll just make this a bit bigger for you. The last thing I need to do before doing my final bit of analysis is to click and change each of these to as a filter, and I'll show you why I'm doing this in just a second. Okay, right, so let's say I want to see, okay, so let's just highlight a few ASINs. Let's start by doing that. So of these 4 ASINs, which I know to be, well, let's have a look what this one is. As a black rope place. I know that, well, let's have a look. Most of the sales occurred in October out of these 4 ASINs. I know that of them, blue was clicked on the most in my advertising campaign. I know that light grey was bought the most in my advertising campaign. And I know that there were more orders generated on the search term laces versus rope laces for these 4. Okay, maybe I want to do something different now. Maybe I want to see what ASINs were bought in the month of October. Okay, I get a different view there. Maybe I want to see what happens if I click on laces. I get I get now the sales that were generated as part um, you know as part of this campaign for as part of the clicks that came off the back of laces. Same for rope laces. Same for if I wanted to click on May. Same if I wanted to click on this ace in here. I see that that was all of those product sales were generated in May. All 47 units ordered. So you get the idea, right? Um, there's a high degree of interactivity in all of this because I've got four different views, all showing different things, and I'm gaining insights by having them all side by side here. And this is really useful for any business. I'm sure you'd agree. So yeah, I think I'm done. I hope I've demonstrated to you the power of Tableau, how easy it is to use and how quick it is to gain insights. If you're interested, you can go to tablewsoftware.com and download a free 14-day trial of Tableau Desktop. If you're someone that only needs to ever connect to Excel, then you can purchase a personal version of the software for $1,000. And yeah, just have a play with it. See how you find it. If you get in touch with Tableau, then you can get a product demo, someone to answer your questions. It's a really great piece of software, and I highly recommend giving it a try. Okay, thanks, guys.